When we talk about investing and stuff, where do we do that? We have to do it through a broker platform. And recently, we've been hearing news in multiple areas where Angel One is taking a hit on their revenue or their profits. Even Nitin Kamath.
Nitin Kamath actually came out and tweeted saying that with whatever is happening around in the market, their revenues could get hit by 40 to 50%. I mean, that's nearly 4,000, 5,000 crores if you think about it.
And all this is because of the new FNO regulations brought in by SEBI. And there is a panic among even investors. See, currently we are seeing all the discount brokers, they don't take any charges from you if you're investing. But there are speculations around saying maybe you could be charged brokerage for investing. And if you're in FNO trading, where currently per lot, the brokerage is 20 rupees, can become 3x. So there are so many uncertainties here also. Maybe we should address that.
Yeah, there's the SEBI's report on retail traders losing a lot of money in trading. So 93% of traders losing money. That report specifically says that charges is also a reason why some percentage of traders are losing money. So charges again is primarily brokerage. So I think the concern is real if brokerage is to be increased among brokers.
Yeah, we are also very empathetic. I think even for us and the trading community, STT increasing and then brokerage, it's not a good sign, right? Because we are already fighting to be profitable. On top of that, we don't want to get hit by charges. And also, okay, that's one side. We as a retail community trying to understand or do what's good for the trading community. And on the other side, there are all these listed broking or stocks in the space. Let's take BSE. Let's take CDSL. Let's take
Angel One.
Listed companies, right? Like IIFL Securities or
Angel
One, like you said.
They've all rallied by quite a lot over the last few years.
And because these are companies that investors know because they use it, obviously, they have been investors in these stocks and enjoyed while those stocks moved up. So now that concern is also real. So I think this topic warrants to be discussed because two reasons. One is, hey, will brokerage increase? If brokerage is increasing, then my returns will reduce as an investor and trader. Two is, hey, I'm investors in a lot of these stocks. Will these stocks have really bad times coming up ahead? And that's why I think we should.
So let's try to understand the two major regulations that have come in and affected the broking industry right now.
Number one was the truth to label thing that SEBI came up, nearly 7 months ago, right? So to understand this, you have to understand this very interesting deal which was happening between brokers and the exchange, not SEBI. So exchange said to brokers that, hey, if you make people trade more and if your turnover is very high, you can charge your users something called as exchange turnover charges, but we will not charge you so much. We will give you a kickback if you are making them trade more. So deal is, if the brokers turnover is very high, they do not have to pay so much of charges to the exchange compared to what they are charging the user.
So the larger the broker, the better.
Exactly.
So Zerodha, being the India's biggest broker, would benefit a lot from this.
Absolutely, because it was slab based. So the larger the brokers, the better kickback they were getting from the exchange. For example, if they were charging say 2 rupees from the user as exchange turnover charges, if the broker is large enough, they don't have to pay that 2 rupees to the exchange. They only have to pay maybe 1 rupee or 1 rupee 50 paise. I'm just giving some example figures here. So now this was not true to the label. Because to the investor or the trader, they're saying 2 rupees, but to the exchange, they don't have to pay so much. Or even if they're paying, they're getting kickback for this. So it was not really nice for investors or traders. So SEBI came in and said that, hey, stop doing this. You have to be true to your label. They asked also exchanges not to give this kickback or slab-based incentives to any brokers.
Around this time, Nitin Kamath also said that this regulation alone will impact the revenue by 10%. Just imagine how much money they were getting from exchange kickbacks.
You're speaking about thousands of crores in revenue for a broker like Zerodha here.
I mean, Zerodha even projected or said that they made some 7,000 odd crores profit. So
no, so 9,000 crores of revenue last year and profits of nearly 5,000 crores.
And if we consider 10% of it, it would be really huge.
So this was point number one. So this happened first, and then brokers were already worrying that, hey, our revenue is getting hit. And then came the larger rationalization of option trading in India, right? SEBI really wanted less and less people to trade options in India. And we know, we are going through it over the last 1-2 months. We are seeing multiple regulatory hits coming in, which is making people trade less options, right? Lot size increase, increased margin on the expiry day, and lot other changes that we've been talking about. So now that is another reason. So less people are trading options, and if less people are trading options, obviously the broking companies' revenues could get hit. And again, referencing Nitin Kamath again. This reason, Nitin Kamath said, because of this reason, maybe 40% of revenue hit is what they are projecting.
And it has actually proven to be true. If you check out the F&O turnover on the NSE website, nearly 30 to 40% is the turnover drop, right? Which is in lines with what SEBI was projecting, in line with what Nitin Kamath was also saying that Zerodha's revenue could drop by.
Yeah, and these regulations, have taken a very big hit on the brokers' revenues. So now that, we are seeing that results are coming out, even Angel One, their Q3 result is out, and their profits, the net profits are down by 35%. That is a huge number. Quarter on quarter.
That is the last quarter where most of these things came into effect only in December, November and December. So only mid of the quarter is when the bad things came into effect. Still the profit is down by 35%. I think what will be very critical is the current quarter. That is where the real numbers will be out. We'll see the real impact of all these changes.
So revenue of the broking segment in Angel One, it also went down by 10%. That's what we observed.
So let's get back to what is really worrying, right? I mean, Nitin Kamath, again, we are referencing a lot of him in this story. But again, he has been warning about broking companies' revenue dropping and giving an early signal that these broking companies could think about increasing their brokerage. And we also saw a lot of these popular zero brokerage platforms who kind of committed that we'll always, for lifetime, forever, give zero brokerage not only on delivery trades, but also on F&O trades. There were companies like that. I'm not taking names here. They actually went back on their promises and they have rolled out pricing plans, or they have started charging you on transactions. So that's very interesting. So things are changing. So the larger question again is, will the regular discount brokers, which is 20 rupees per order, will that go to 30 rupees per order, 50 rupees per order? So that is what is being discussed.
So let me correct you. Those are not our regular brokers. Those are our discount brokers again. Right. Regular brokers are still charging way too high.
So again, interestingly, things have turned around where discount brokers are the new regular brokers.
So when we said Angel One's revenue is dropping, I want the audience to do this exercise. I want you to open a screener or a ticker tape. Go check out Angel One's revenue from 2020 or 21 to what it is in this current quarter. They're making more than 3x the revenue per quarter. In the last 3 years, it has jumped by that much. So I think that it's mostly the quarter-on-quarter number is made to look so alarming, and they're trying to increase brokerage by no matter what, right? I think that's the mindset they're going with.
So people are speculating a tripling of brokerage. From 20 per order, it could even go to 60 per order and stuff like that. And probably brokerage coming for delivery trades, that is your normal investing, and also maybe a lot more regular mutual funds to be pushed so that these brokers could make money from mutual funds. So today, because most of these discount brokers are selling direct mutual funds, they are not making any money from that. So all of these changes are being pitched. But hey, to be very honest, what I am thinking is, why should they be even doing this? Because like Ajay said, all of their revenue skyrocketed. That's the word. Skyrocketed over the last 3-4 years. Their profit went up so much. They made a lot of money already. They're still making a lot of money. Almost all of them are operating at near 50% PAT margin. I mean, that is crazy. So I'm thinking, why should they even be making so much profit?
But I don't really think that a brokerage tripling could occur. Because if you're looking at the large players who are trading near the freeze limit, 1200 quantity is the freeze limit today in Nifty, right? And they'll continue to do or trade at the same level despite the lot changes and everything. But they might trade less because of all the regulations on ELM kicking in, everyday expiry, including Bank Nifty expiry going away. So lot size increasing. For big players, they'll still get the same revenue because it's per order. For small players, again, they might lose out their revenue. We don't know what's the percentage of that. Hopefully, it's not a large percentage. But on the other side, the F&O revenues could come down because of the ELM as well as the number of expiries going down.
I think brokers are just waiting out on this quarter. As we said, in this quarter that we are currently in is the very important one for them, because the numbers of this would dictate their decision. But also at the same time, I think the industry is kind of headed and led by Zerodha.
Yeah.
So if Zerodha doesn't make a move, I don't think other brokers would also
Dare to?
Yeah, exactly. So they would really be observing what Zerodha is doing. If Zerodha is not increasing, then other brokers will be slightly scared to make a move.
Yeah. So if corporate greed doesn't kick in, I think the brokers, like Sharique said, they've made so much money over the last multiple years and they're operating at a crazy operating margin percentage. So I think if corporate greed does not kick in, the brokers will not increase their brokerage. And we know that Zerodha, or they say to not be driven by this corporate greed. That's what they paint themselves to be, right? So if they stay true to that, I don't know if they will, right? The brokerages in the industry might remain the same because they'll always be scared of the giant in the room. Or if Zerodha is also changing, I think a huge shift in the industry is going to happen.
But again, Zerodha were the people who actually brought down the brokerage cost by a lot. They were the revolutionaries in this brokerage industry. So I just hope that they don't come up and, increase and shoot the prices a lot.
So you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking about heroes, Geo Finance is supposed to enter the broking industry, and maybe that is another, maybe a pivotal moment in Indian broking industry's history, completely, where Geo could come and disrupt it. If, say, hypothetically Zerodha is increasing to 30 rupees per order or whatever, maybe then we might enter a new era where Geo Finance is coming in with much reduced brokerage and the kind of disruption that Zerodha did back in mid of 2010s. So maybe what if such a disruption
I'll
could
give you a small indication before taking it to the third story. Who did the true to label affect the most? It affected the large players, right? And what did it enable? It enabled small players to enter the industry, level the playing field for new players to come into the broking industry. So there is a conspiracy actually running that True to Label was heavily focused on Ambani and Geo Finance launching their broking wing, right?
But again, maybe I don't want Zerodha or even Geo Finances to become a duopoly again, and how Geo and Airtel are now dominating the telecom sector, increasing the prices by a lot. Maybe they'll disrupt the whole market, and from where we started, the regular broking houses charging high and discount brokers coming in. And Sharique rightly mentioned, maybe these new discount brokers are the regular brokers. Yeah. I don't want them to emerge and, dominate and, squeeze out all people's money through investing mutual funds. I just don't want to be in that world anymore.